Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. Those words were said by Saint Francis of Assisi. Je pense qu'ils s'appliquent à qu'est-ce qu'on a besoin de faire ici au Nouveau-Brunswick. Nous avons besoin de faire ce qui est nécessaire, nous avons besoin de faire ce qui est possible, et soudainement, on va se trouver à faire des choses qu'on avait jugées impossibles. I want to thank you very much for being here tonight. Je vais vous remercier énormément pour être ici parmi nous, pour avoir une discussion du futur et de l'avenir de notre belle province. I thank you very much for being here, and I know normally I should spend some time talking about the dignitaries and people that are special guests here. I know I should normally do that, but I want to do it a bit different. I want to signal out one table in particular to start off with. This table is filled with people that are entrepreneurial in spirit. They are doing wonderful things today, and I have no doubt that they're going to be doing wonderful things tomorrow and for many, many years to come. It's table 43, and I ask that they get up. A bunch of young entrepreneurs, des jeunes entrepreneurs qui ont venu nous joindre aujourd'hui. Thank you for everything you're doing for our province. Merci beaucoup d'être ici ce soir. I also want to spend some time thanking people that actually couldn't be here tonight. And there are many. Notre ami, quelqu'un que moi j'ai beaucoup de temps pour, quelqu'un qui m'a tellement aidé au fil des années, un gars qui s'appelle Marc Chouinard. C'est un gars qui a fait tellement pour la communauté du Grand Moncton, quelqu'un qui a fait tellement pour la culture autour de la province. Malheureusement, il ne peut pas être ici. Il est en train de combattre le cancer. Il est à Georges-Dumont et j'espère qu'il surveille ce soir. Je sais qu'il aurait aimé ça d'être ici parmi nous. C'est un grand homme. On a juste besoin de garder le fait qu'il y a eu l'Ordre du Canada, mais ceux et celles qui lui connaissent savent que ce n'est pas ça qu'il va être rappelé pour. C'est un gars qui a fait tellement, tellement de bien et c'est quelqu'un qui est tellement positif. Et je vous demande de lui donner une bonne main d'applaudissement, s'il vous plaît. I want to thank somebody else that's watching tonight, a guy named John Wood. John is from Oromocto. John has muscular dystrophy. He couldn't be here tonight, and he's watching at home. Now, he has muscular dystrophy, but that does not define him. That is not who he is. He is someone who is positive. He is someone who inspires many, including myself. And he is someone who makes a real difference in his community. He's not with us tonight, but you can be certain that we're all thinking of him. Please give him a round of applause. I want to thank a few other people that couldn't make it tonight. And these people can't even be watching right now. I want to thank the single mother from Miramichi who works 2 jobs trying to provide for her family. She couldn't be here, but you can be certain that she's in our thoughts. Je veux remercier le membre de la GRC qui travaille tout de suite à Moncton pour nous protéger, pour assurer que nos rues, nos familles, nos communautés qui vont être en sécurité. Je veux remercier le grand-père à Caraquette qui aide sa famille, qui aide sa fille en conduisant son petit-fils à sa pratique de hockey. Lui ne peut pas surveiller ce soir non plus, mais on apprécie ce qu'il fait pour la communauté. I want to thank the shift worker in St. John, who's in the middle of his shift right now, a job that he's been working probably over a decade, one that he does proudly, and one that he does because he wants his little girl to be able to go to university or college when she turns 18. These people aren't here with us tonight, and some of them can't even watch us on the screen. But I want to thank them nonetheless, because they're our story. They are New Brunswickers. They are people that we are here tonight to talk about how we can better their lives. Now, I also want to thank some people in the room tonight. Je veux remercier tous les députés, mes collègues qui sont ici, les personnes de l'Assemblée législative. I want to thank all of the MLAs that are here tonight from all sides of the aisle. I guess there's more than one side now with a third party in the legislature. But thank you very much for what you do, and thank you for trying to make our province a better place. I'm very lucky. My parents are here tonight, so that's good. I'm very happy. Is that my parents clapping for themselves? I want to thank them for being here. So, as you can imagine, as many of you in this room, they've supported me so much. I mean, your parents and your family members, I'm sure, have done a lot for you, everyone in this room as well, and I'm no different. And they're two wonderful people. C'est deux personnes qui m'ont appuyé tellement lorsque j'étais jeune, évidemment, lors de ma carrière et ma carrière politique inclus. So I have to specifically thank my mom. So some of you may follow me on Facebook or follow me on Twitter. You see that I post some things. So I try to get as much information on social media as possible. And sometimes it doesn't always take. So for example here, if you look at the screens, so this is me posting what Opportunities New Brunswick looks like. We got 111 likes. This is me being sworn in as Premier. I think about 800 likes, if I'm not mistaken. Ceci, c'est le Conseil de l'emploi qui se rencontre pour la première fois, le cabinet le comité du cabinet qui va être responsable pour l'économie, si vous voulez. On a eu, je pense, 250 personnes qui ont aimé cette photo-là. Next. 1,200 likes. It's certainly not because of my bed hair or not because I know how to make a turkey. So, Mom, thank you very much for contributing to my political career. It's great to see my father here as well. So, I have the best job. I have a wonderful job. I'm really the luckiest person in New Brunswick. I love what I do. Every day I get up and I try and make a difference. Je me sens vraiment choyé d'avoir l'opportunité d'être Premier ministre de notre belle province. But as you can imagine, it certainly has an impact on your life. Things change a little bit, and it also changes a little bit for your family as well. So my father said the other day, he went to the mechanic, and I think he was changing his tires, you know, trying to get the winter tires, which is a good thing. And the mechanic there asked him, he said, he says, Pierre Gallant? I said, Brian Gallant, is that your son? And he said, yes, actually, he is. Brian Gallant, the Premier? Yes, he is. Oh, well, I'm going to have to charge you taxes. My father responded, probably a good idea. I speak a lot about my family. Je parle beaucoup à propos de ma famille. Évidemment, je les aime, mais aussi, je pense, ça démontre un peu d'où je viens. Et je ne parle pas du fait que je viens de Shediac-Bridge, je parle du fait de pourquoi que je suis la personne que je suis. My family went through some pretty tough times when we were young at times, like many New Brunswick families. We moved, I think, about 6 times before I was 10 years old as my parents looked for work across the province. We moved from Shediac-Bridge to Moncton, to Beresford, to Nigadoo, to Buktush, to Shediac-Bridge again. And I'll tell you that I learned a lot from my family and from my parents especially, and they probably don't even realize that, but they taught me during some of those tough times that we had to do what was necessary. We had to do what was possible. And they always encouraged myself, my brother, and my sister to believe that we could do the impossible. Alors, j'étais très choyé d'avoir une famille qui m'appuyait autant. I was very lucky to have parents that were such wonderful role models and that taught me the value of hard work. And they also taught me during those tough times that we could do things that we never thought we could if we worked together. And I'm very happy I was taught these things because I believe it's going to help us as a province moving forward. I was thinking a lot about what I wanted to talk to you about tonight. Ceci, c'est une opportunité énorme pour moi pour être capable de parler autant de personnes ici dans la salle et des personnes qui surveillent à la maison. Now, obviously, the title of tonight is the state of the province. I don't want to talk to you about the state of the province. And I don't want to talk to you about the state of the province because you know the state of the province. We have challenges. Vous êtes au courant qu'on a des défis devant nous comme province. Je n'ai pas besoin de passer beaucoup de temps à énumérer ces défis. I don't have to spend a lot of time talking to you tonight about the challenges that we have. You've read about them in the newspapers. You've watched them on the TV shows. You've seen the reports. You talk to your friends at the Tim Hortons, at the hockey arenas, at work, and you realize that we face challenges. And more importantly, you feel it. You feel it. You see your friends, your family, maybe losing their jobs, some of them having to move away. You see that some communities are struggling more than others, and the province as a whole, we have our deficits, we have some of the issues when it comes to a stagnated economy. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the state of the province. I am going to spend tonight talking to you about what I'd like the state of the province to be. Je vais vous parler de ma vision pour la province. Je vais vous parler de comment on peut se rendre là. Et je vais vous parler comment que vous pouvez nous aider. So first off, let me tell you what I want New Brunswick to look like. I want us to have opportunity here in our province. I want us to have growth when it comes to our economy. I want us to have jobs being created so our loved ones, our friends, our family can stay here, can come back here. I want to see us also get our finances in order. And why do I want to do that? Because it's important. C'est important parce qu'il faut s'assurer que nous allons avoir la capacité fiscale pour bien des années à donner des programmes sociaux qui sont importants pour les familles et les communautés autour de la province. We got to get our finances in order, and I want to see a province, our province, have our finances in order so we know, we don't have to worry, we'll know that for many decades to come, we're going to have the important social programs that we need for our communities and for our families. And I want New Brunswick to be the best place to raise a family. I want us to be able to have the communities, the programs, the opportunity, so people say, that's where I want to have my family, that's where I want to raise my family, that's where I want to stay, that's where I want to retire. Now, all of these things are interlinked. So we are, as a government, your government is going to focus on creating jobs. We're going to focus on getting our finances in order. We're going to focus on helping families. And these things are all interlinked. Si nous voulons aider les familles davantage, il faut créer de l'emploi. Si nous voulons aider les familles davantage, il faut avoir la capacité fiscale pour le faire. If we want to get our finances in order, we have to make sure that we invest strategically to help families, and we have to create jobs to get the revenues that we need in the province to be able to provide strong social programs. So this is what your government's going to be focused on. This is what we've been focused on since day one, and we'll continue to do so throughout our mandate. Now, I know you're going to ask yourself, how are we going to get there? How are we going to accomplish that? Well, first off, we have to get away from the status quo. Le statu quo ne fonctionne pas. C'est évident. Vous savez c'est quoi l'état de la province. Le statu quo nous a rendus où nous sommes présentement. So we have to move our province forward. We have to accept that we got to get away from the shackles of the status quo. So we have to develop the economy in a different way. We have to think about how we can do this differently. We have to make the decisions. We have to decide how we're going to get our finances in order by facing our challenges, not by trying to pretend they're not there and putting them under the rug. Il faut faire les décisions, même s'ils sont difficiles. And on top of that, when we make decisions, we have to do it because we believe it's going to help families, it's going to help communities, not because it's going to help us at the polls 4 years later. So we got to move away from the status quo, and we got to move New Brunswick forward. And we're not going to be talking about decisions and choices that will surprise you. You know what they are. You've heard them before. You've talked about them at your dinner tables. You've talked about them at the Tim Hortons. You've talked about them with your friends and colleagues. In fact, I'd like you to take a look at the screen for a second, just si vous pouvez garder l'écran. I ask you to read these quotes here. There should be some in French. There should be 2 in French, 2 in English. So please take the time to read these. So does all that sound a bit familiar? So that was written in 2001, and it was referencing 1987. So it's in this book here by Philip Lee. So what we're talking about in terms of our challenges have been around for a while. C'est les mêmes défis, donc on jase et donc on discute, ça fait À peu près 30 ans, si pas plus. So we have to have the political will. We have to have the leadership from our communities. We have to have the resolve to tackle these challenges once and for all. I can tell you that your government has the political will and has the resolve to take these challenges on. But I can also tell you that we can't do it alone. Now, we're going to make some mistakes. We as a government are going to make some mistakes. Everybody that helps us trying to do this will make a few mistakes. But for every mistake, we will get 2, 3, 4, 5 steps closer to where we need to be as a province. We cannot be afraid to make mistakes. We cannot be afraid to put ourselves out there. And by doing so, I guarantee you, we will be able to get the province on the right track. And when I make mistakes, I'm sure that I'll hear about it by the population, and I'll hear about it in the media. It's okay, I'm used to it. On October 7th, I got sworn in, and every day since I got sworn at, so it's okay. Now, if we are going to do this, if we're going to tackle these challenges that we all know exist, there's another thing that we need to do, in my opinion. We need to become the smart province. Nous avons besoin de devenir la province la plus intelligente qu'il n'y a pas, et espérons que ça sera dans le pays le plus intelligent qu'il n'y a pas. And I want to explain what I mean when I say that. I know a lot of people will think, what is he, computers? Is that what he's talking about? It's a lot more than that. Becoming the smart province entails a few things. Il faut développer notre économie de façon intelligente. Cela veut dire qu'il faut qu'on comprenne que le gouvernement ne crée pas les emplois. If we're going to be smart in the way we develop our economy, let's get away from the thinking that government creates jobs. We don't create jobs. We need to create the conditions. We need to create the environment for jobs to be created by entrepreneurs, by New Brunswickers, by businesses, by their ideas, by their entrepreneurial spirit, and by their hard work. But your government's going to be focused on creating those conditions to ensure that there's economic growth, to ensure that you, the people in this room and the people listening at home and all the businesses and entrepreneurs and the people that are going to be entrepreneurs are going to be able to help us create jobs. Nous allons créer ces conditions. Nous avons créé Opportunité Nouveau-Brunswick, le Conseil de l'emploi. Ces deux choses vont nous aider à mieux coordonner nos efforts lorsque ça vient à développer l'économie. Ça va nous aider à évaluer si nous avons du succès lorsque ça vient à créer de l'emploi comme province. Opportunities New Brunswick is going to be client-focused. We cannot have the people that are trying to support businesses throughout the province and those outside who are interested to come here, we cannot move at the speed of government. And politicians are as much to blame as anybody else in that. So we need to find ways to act faster. We need to be focused on the clients, which are the businesses that want to invest here in New Brunswick, and that's what Opportunities New Brunswick will do. The first thing that our cabinet did was lower the small business tax. And we did this because we understand that large businesses are going to help us create jobs and grow the economy. Absolutely, no doubt about it. Les grandes corporations vont nous aider à créer de l'emploi, vont nous aider à relancer notre économie. And we need their help. But we also need the help of small and medium-sized businesses. 97% of businesses in New Brunswick are under 50 employees. So we need to support them more. That's why we lowered the small business tax. Nous allons continuer à diminuer le taux d'imposition pour les petites entreprises jusqu'à ce que nous sommes le taux d'imposition le plus bas l'est du Manitoba. To create the conditions, we need to invest strategically in our infrastructure. And we're going to do that. We're going to ensure with our strategic infrastructure initiative that we're helping not only stimulate the economy and create jobs in the short term, but we're also setting our province up for economic growth in the long term. Il faut investir aussi, non seulement dans l'infrastructure dans le Nord, mais aussi avec l'accès à la capitale. C'est en raison de ça que notre gouvernement on a créé un fonds pour la Miramichi et pour le Nord pour 20 millions et 5 millions, qui va donner 25 millions par année pour aider avec l'accès à la capitale et pour investir dans nos infrastructures dans le nord de notre belle province. And if we are going to create the conditions for economic growth and for job creation, one of the most crucial parts of that is developing a skilled workforce. I have to tell you that one of the most frustrating things that I have done in the last few years is go around the province and meet people that want to work, and then the same day meet people that want to hire, and one can't find a job and one can't find somebody to do the job. It is one of the most frustrating things to see someone with passion want to stay in New Brunswick, that want to help the economy, that want to contribute but can't find work, and somebody who wants to hire someone and pay someone and help our economy grow, and they can't find the worker. So there's something that we're not doing right. Il faut remplir la pénurie de la main-d'œuvre que nous avons dans des telles industries. And we can play a role. We can create the conditions for that. So that's why we are going to have an education plan that is going to be a 10-year, nonpartisan education plan. And I want to explain why. I've heard it a lot. You've heard it a lot. People within the system, the education system, say, every time a government comes into power, they make changes to our system, and then we have no stability. We just kind of leave us alone, let us do what we do, let us teach, and we'll figure it out. That's where they are, and I understand why. I want to tell them, however, that the reason that this happens, it's coming from a good place. No matter what the political party, it's because people are coming into power and they're saying, you know what? Education is so important, and we're not where we need to be, so we're going to make some changes. We're going to shake things up and get it done the right way. So it's coming from a good place. But I understand the system, the teachers, the parents, the administrators, even the students themselves. They want a bit more stability. Now, our measurements when it comes to education aren't where they need to be. So we can't accept the status quo. But we have to listen to those in the system saying that we have to get some stability, and that's why a 10-year education plan developed with all political parties, developed with stakeholders, and not just the stakeholders within the education system. I'm hoping businesses, I'm hoping community leaders, I'm hoping those who help us deliver frontline services. Everybody will contribute to see exactly how we can have the best education system in the country. And if there's ever a change in government, the plan will be able to continue. I'm not advocating for a change in government, by the way, if you're wondering. But this way we'll be able to offer stability, and with a plan that is developed by listening to stakeholders and to all people within the political sphere, we're going to be able to have a good plan that will deliver results. Now, on top of that, I have to tell you another frustration that I have. When I go around the province and I meet a young person who says, I want to work, I applied for a job, I can do the job, but it says that I need 3 years experience, 5 years experience, 2 years experience. And this person doesn't get the job because they're fresh out of university or college or high school or another program that they took. And they tell me, and they're absolutely right to say this, I mean, if I don't get this job, how am I going to get experience to be able to get the job? So it's a frustration, and I feel for them. I get the business side too, though. I meet businesses, and they'll tell me, especially small and medium-sized businesses, they'll tell me, well, I can't hire right now unless it's somebody that can come in right away and do the job from day one. J'ai pas le temps de former quelqu'un, un nouveau employé. C'est important qu'il soit capable de venir et faire ce qu'il y a à faire dès la première journée. So this is something that government can play a role in. We can help. And that's why we're very happy that we have created the Youth Employment Fund. Ceci va aider des jeunes âgés de 18 à 29 ans. Ça va créer des placements de 6 mois chaque. There's going to be 1,500 placements for 6 months each, helping young people aged 18 to 29, getting the first job that they need to get the hands-on experience that they need. Government will subsidize these positions, and this will not only help that young person get the experience, it will help our businesses that are struggling a little bit at the moment, and it will ensure that they have a skilled workforce. And if the program, if this plan works as well as we've seen in other provinces like Ontario, we will see 75%, 80%, 90% of the individuals either stay with the business after they're done the placement, go to a business in the same industry, or go to a business in a similar industry. Now, if we're going to develop our economy and be smart about the way that we proceed, we have to diversify our approach, our investments, and our economy. I've spoken about that a lot. C'est important de diversifier nos efforts. Il faut aider les industries traditionnelles qui ont bâti la province. La foresterie, l'agriculture, les pêches, le tourisme, la culture. But we also have to help and support emerging industries. We have to help information communications technology. I believe we have world leaders in this province when it comes to ICT. We just need to support them as much as we can, help them with a skilled workforce, create the conditions that they need, using the NBIF, invest in them when they're starting up. Now, if we work together and we get our ICT exports just to the Canadian average on a ratio basis, we can inject hundreds of millions of dollars into our economy. And I'm not even talking about being the leaders that I know we can be in this country when it comes to ICT, just the Canadian average of exports. We also need, if we're going to become the smart province and develop our economy in a smart way, we need to invest in research and development. Now, I have to make a point here, and I'm certainly not pointing any fingers, but we need the business people, we need the private sector to step up. If we want to become experts in anything, we have to be investing in research and development. If we want to be innovative, we have to invest in research and development. If we want to ensure that we're helping our traditional industries and emerging industries, we must invest in research and development. So I ask you again to look at the screen. So here you'll see investments in research and development. So we see on the top there, we have the portion of government. We then have higher education's contribution, and then we have businesses. Alors ici, vous voyez les 4 provinces des Atlantiques et vous voyez le Canada. Évidemment, ceci, c'est tout dans des pourcentages. So as you can see, nationally, government plays a bit of a role. Higher education certainly carries their weight, and the private sector is investing heavily when it comes to research and development. But then look at what's happening in Atlantic Canada. In New Brunswick, it's no exception. We find government playing, on average, about the same role as we see nationally. We see higher education certainly playing a big role here in New Brunswick, which is great. But then, unfortunately, we find ourselves with the private sector not playing the role that I think that we can do. Alors, une des choses que je vais vous demander ici dans la salle, les personnes qui écoutent, nous avons besoin que le secteur privé investisse dans la recherche et le développement. I ask for your help and your support. We have to make sure that as a province, we invest in research and development. And if we can get the private sector to pick up its game, I know that our higher education institutions will continue to do what they're doing, and you'll certainly have a partner in our government in investing in research and development. Now, if we are going to be the smart province, we also have to develop our economy thinking of the long term. Et c'est en raison de ça que nous avons, notre gouvernement, on va développer un plan pour le changement climatique. We have to think of the long term when it comes to growing our economy, and we will have a plan to ensure that we play our role when it comes to stopping climate change. We're also going to ensure that we preserve our environment, and that's why our government has put a moratorium on hydraulic fracturing until we fully understand the risks to our water, our environment, and our health. C'est important que nous réalisons que notre planète va à la génération qui va venir après nous, et la génération après, et la génération après. We have to develop our economy, but we can do it in a sustainable way. And as we know, when we become more green, as we know, when we ensure that we are preserving our environment, we are helping other industries, and we are actually creating jobs in the process. Now, if we're going to continue to diversify our approach, we are going to develop our natural resources and our energy projects in a sustainable and responsible way. Our government is very proud to support the Sisson-Brook mine. We're very proud to support the conversion of the LNG terminal in St. John. And we're very proud to support the Energy East pipeline that we are going to work with our counterparts across the country, explaining as to how this can help not only the country, but of course New Brunswick, create jobs, and grow the economy. And we're going to do what we can to get the Energy East pipeline to New Brunswick and to St. John. Now, if we are going to be the smart province, it's not just about our economy. It's not just about growing jobs and creating jobs in a strategic and smart way. It's also about our finances. We need to spend our money wisely. We need to be strategic when it comes to our finances. And that's why the first thing that I did as Premier, actually the first thing I did as Premier was stay up really, really late to see if I really was Premier. The next thing I did as Premier was name the smallest cabinet we have seen since 1965. Nous avons nommé le plus petit cabinet depuis Louis Robichaud en 1965. Nous avons fait ça pour 3 raisons. Évidemment, pour sauver de l'argent. We also did it because we wanted to eliminate silos in government. And more importantly, we also did it because it was a symbol. It was a symbol that we faced tough challenges and tough choices, but we're all in it together. And that includes politicians. That includes government. It would have been a lot easier, trust me, to have 18 cabinet ministers. I would have been able to name someone like Lisa Harris. So she has to sacrifice and not be in cabinet this time around. Quelqu'un comme Roger Mélenchon n'aurait pas 2 grands départements. Roger has finance and DTI, Department of Transportation and Infrastructure. He tells me that he gets more calls about fixing roads than he does about balancing the books, but that's all right. So we wanted to show New Brunswickers that we are in this together, and that includes government and politicians. One of the other things that I did was go around the country meeting with other premiers. Premier Prentice, Premier McNeil, Premier Couillard, Premier Wynne. And I want to discuss how we can work together to create jobs and grow the economy, but also how can we save money together? How can we cooperate and collaborate? Now you will see with your government a real focus on finding how we can better the programs that we have and the investments that we make by working with all provinces and territories across the country, by working with all jurisdictions in our region, the 4 Atlantic provinces, Quebec, the New England states. We are going to find every best practice that we can find to ensure that we're going to save as much money and be as strategic when it comes to our investments so we can get our finances on the right track. Now, if we're going to spend our money wisely, one of the best ways to find out where we can save, where we can be more efficient, what's working and what's not working, is going through line by line. So as you probably saw a couple days ago, we announced that we will be doing a strategic program review. Ceci va être un processus très important. Nous allons regarder tous les investissements que nous faisons comme province. We are going to go through all of our investments, all of our programs, to see if we can do them better, if we can find savings, if we can be more efficient and be more innovative. Now, I know when I say that, when I say efficiencies and savings, everybody thinks cuts. I get it. I know that. But we're sincere when we say that. We are sincere that we want to find the largest percentage possible of the money that we need to find to get our finances in order through being more innovative in the true sense of the word, by being more productive in the true sense of the word, by being more efficient in the true sense of the word. Now, we're not naive enough to think that it's all going to come from that. Mais avec votre aide, je suis convaincu qu'un grand pourcentage pourra venir des vraies efficacités. Now, I want to tell you about strategic program review. It's important that you realize it's not coming from an ideological point of view. You don't have a bunch of people that went to Fredericton, got elected, and said, you know what, government's too big, and there's too many programs, and we got to make some cuts. It's coming from a pragmatic, realistic, and balanced place. We need to understand that we have money coming in and we have money going out. We want to be as smart and strategic as we possibly can when it comes to increasing the money coming in. And we certainly want to be as smart and strategic as we possibly can with the money that's going out. Now, I need your help. J'ai besoin de votre aide lorsque ça vient à la révision stratégique des programmes. Ce n'est pas les 13 personnes de notre cabinet qui ont toutes les réponses. It's not the 49 people that you elected to send to Fredericton to represent all of New Brunswickers that have the answers either. Collectively, New Brunswickers do have the answers. I am convinced of it. But we need your help. We need you to participate. We need your ideas, your suggestions, even your concerns. Alors, je demande pour votre participation dans la révision. I ask for your full participation. These decisions are going to be made so they can be made by 13 people in a cabinet room in Fredericton, or they can be made by 750,000 people working together. And to prove that we're serious about ensuring that being more productive, efficient, and innovative plays a huge role in finding the savings that we need to find to get our finances in order, I'm telling you now, and I'm committing to this tonight, that our government is going to launch what we call Innovation Week. Any ICT company, any business that has any idea that can help government be more innovative and more efficient when it comes to delivering our services, I guarantee you that during Innovation Week, you will get a meeting with our government. We need your ideas and we need your support. And if we're going to be the smart province, not only do we need to develop our economy in a smart way, not only do we need to spend our money wisely, we also need to make evidence-based decisions. Lorsque ça vient à aider les familles, les communautés autour de la province, nous avons besoin de s'assurer que les décisions sont prises parce que ça va améliorer le sort de tous les Néo-Brunswickois et Néo-Brunswickoises. So we need to ensure that when we're investing in social programs, when we're investing to help New Brunswickers, it's based on evidence. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what I've learned going around the province, talking to many of you, what I've learned reading reports, what I've learned trying to understand what's happening on the front lines of the programs that we deliver as a province. If we are going to get our finances in order and still have a high quality of life, we need to really be innovative when it comes to our health care. There's no doubt about it. Healthcare is so important to our province and to all New Brunswickers. But it also is something that costs a lot of money. So we have to be innovative when it comes to delivering healthcare. Now, there's one principle that I want us to follow when it comes to healthcare. And this is where I get to, I want it to be evidence-based. We need to get people out of hospitals. We need to get people out of hospitals, not only because it's going to help us save money, it's going to actually improve the quality of care that New Brunswickers are getting around the province. And let me explain what I mean by that. Well, you know, there's many seniors living in our hospitals. This costs more money, and it is a drain on their quality of life. So we need to find ways for them to stay in their homes longer, in the communities they help build. We need to have support for them to get out of the hospitals and get the care that they need. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to create a tax credit to help seniors renovate their homes so they can stay in their homes longer. Now, another principle that we need to go behind getting people out of the hospitals is ensure that we have community centers, that we have family doctors, that we have other outlets for primary care. Instead of being sick and you feel that you have to go to the ER where you're going to wait hours and hours, which is not great for your quality of life, let's have the right spots for them to be able to go to get the care that they need. And if we're going to get people out of the hospitals, well then let's be proactive about health care. Let's make people healthy. Let's do a better job with child obesity. Let's do a better job with managing chronic diseases. Let's do a better job of getting people to stop smoking. So let's be proactive about our healthcare system. People will be healthier, they'll be happier, they'll have a better quality of life, it'll help the economy, people will be more productive, and we'll ensure that we get our finances in order. Now, still on the topic of healthcare, if we want to be evidence-based when it comes to ensuring that we're delivering healthcare in the most efficient way possible, and still by providing a high quality of care, let's go to the cause of whether we're healthy or not. And the cause, 90% of the cause of whether we're healthy or not, are based on social determinants. For example, people living in poverty won't be as healthy, statistically speaking. So, if we want to improve the quality of life, improve healthcare, be more efficient, we have to go to the core of one of the issues. We have to address poverty. If we want to address poverty, we have to end the cycle of poverty by investing in education. And if we want to help education, yes, there's the 10-year plan, but we got to go back to the fundamentals and increase the literacy rates in this province. Votre gouvernement va être concentré sur l'alphabétisation. I've said it before, if I'm premier for 4, 8, whatever amount of years, if there's one thing, yeah, there's a few conservatives in the room that probably have a suggestion for that. If there's one thing that I hope I can say that I started, now whether I'm the one that accomplished it under my watch as premier, whether it's the time that it got accomplished or it at least started, I want us to be able to say that our literacy rates went in the right direction under our watch. So yes, there's the education plan, but you can be certain that we are going to have a literacy strategy that we are going to be developing. It is going to be aggressive, and it's going to be asking for your support. It's going to be asking for your help. We're going to need the business community to play a role. We're going to need people on the front lines to play a role. We're going to need all politicians to play a role. We're going to need all New Brunswickers to help us. There's a quote that says, to raise a child, it takes a village. Well, to raise our literacy rates, it's going to take every single person in the province helping out. So I ask for your support when it comes to this important endeavor. Now, if we're going to work together to get away from the status quo, si nous allons travailler ensemble pour mettre le Nouveau-Brunswick en marche, nous allons aussi être stratégiques et intelligents lorsque ça vient à investir notre argent dans des programmes pour faire croître l'économie, créer de l'emploi et donner des programmes sociaux. Well, we also have to ensure that we're helping those who are working and contributing, but may find themselves still living in poverty. The working poor is something that is fairly new to our society. And that's why our government was very proud to raise the minimum wage to $10.30, and we will continue to raise the minimum wage to ensure that we can combat poverty together. And if we're going to be smart about the way we deliver programs, if we're going to be evidence-based when it comes to helping the social fabric in the province, we have to admit to ourselves that one of the best ways to help people living in poverty, une des meilleures façons d'aider les personnes ayant un handicap, une des meilleures façons d'aider les aînés, one of the best ways to help all the groups that I mentioned and many more, is to actually improve the status of women in our province. We are going to ensure there's a gender-based analysis in our decisions within government. We are going to ensure, with your help, that we appoint more women to positions of influence within government, our agencies and boards and commissions. So I'm going to make this call out now. We've actually, in Cabinet, have received some names from organizations that would help us appoint women, or appoint people, I should say, and there aren't enough women on the list. So those who have the responsibility of giving names to be appointed because it's in your law, or your statute, or it's in your jurisdiction to do so, I ask you to provide us women as well. For those who can contribute here in this room and those listening, for the women who are competent, that want this because they want to better our province, we need to ensure that we get strong women that have the competence and merit to make sure that they help us move our province forward. I ask you to submit your name, and if you know of someone that fits this bill, I ask you to submit their name. Et nous allons s'assurer d'avoir un forum qui sera indépendant, qui sera bien financé, pour être capable de faire la recherche, pour être capable de parler au nom des femmes tout autour de la province. So we are going to work very hard to become the smart province. Your government is going to be focused on developing the economy in a smart way, spending our money wisely, and investing all based on evidence. So the third thing that I need, or the third thing that we need, I should say, to accomplish the vision that I talked to you about earlier, is you. It's everybody in this room. It's everybody listening. It's everybody not listening in our province. We need your help to move this province forward. Nous avons besoin de votre aide pour partir du statu quo. We need your ideas to grow the economy, create jobs. We need your ideas on how to save money. We need your ideas on how to help families and communities. We need businesses and the private sector to invest as we start to pull back a little bit on the public spending because we got to get our finances in order. We need the private sector and businesses to invest in their infrastructure, invest in their people. Make that renovation that you're thinking about doing. We need the people on the front lines delivering the important social programs that we have in the province to provide us with their ideas. If there's a group of people that know how to deliver healthcare, education, social development, and many other important programs that we have within government in a more efficient and innovative way, well, it is the people that are delivering those services on the front lines. We need the civil service to help. La fonction publique, eux aussi, ont les idées sur comment on peut innover, comment on peut être plus efficace à délivrer les programmes. We also need every single New Brunswicker to play a role, to provide us their ideas, to provide us their suggestions, to join the discussion, and to participate. We also need, from all New Brunswickers, a bit of patience. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of hard work. And again, like I said, we'll make mistakes once in a while. But always know that your government is doing it because we think that this is the best way to better the quality of life of all New Brunswickers. And when we don't agree, and when we do agree, and when we agree on some things and not on others, let's always remember that we all want to see our province flourish. I also ask that you believe. You have to believe in New Brunswick. You have to believe in yourselves. And you have absolutely no reason not to believe in New Brunswick and not to believe in yourselves. We are a wonderful people. Nous avons la plus belle province. J'ai été très choyé, j'ai été autour du monde, j'ai vu plusieurs pays. Et je peux vous dire que le Canada, c'est le meilleur pays qu'il n'y a pas. I've been very lucky. I've been around the country. I've gone to every single province in our beautiful country. And I can tell you, New Brunswick is the best province. For those who know me, you know what's next. Shediac Bridge is the nicest place in New Brunswick. Oh, yeah. About 1% of the room. That's good. So we have a lot to be proud of. We should believe in our province, believe in ourselves. And if that's not enough, I have a couple things that I think we should remember. We have the largest, most sophisticated oil refinery in the country right here in New Brunswick in St. John. St. John has a port that is deep water, ice-free, and is the best port in North America. We have a flourishing ICT sector. We have incredible leaders, incredible thinkers right here in our province. Two of the largest venture capital deals done in the ICT sector in 2011 and 2012 were done right here in New Brunswick. We have wonderful institutions. Mount A, ranked the best university by Maclean's for an 18th time. The record, no other university comes close. Nous avons des anciens de nos universités, comme les anciens de l'Université de Moncton, Antonine Maillet, renommés au niveau international. Nous avons des personnes comme Régent Thomas, grand scientifique, renommé au niveau international. Des personnes comme Roméo Leblanc, ancien gouverneur général du Canada. We have STU, a small but mighty university. 42 nations actually represented in their student body. And UNB ranked the most entrepreneurial university in the country. Now, we have wonderful, wonderful institutions, but we also have wonderful places. Fredericton, twice in the most intelligent communities in the world. St. John, yeah, St. John ranked twice the best place to do business in the country. Moncton ranked just this year, last year I should say, ranked the most competitive place to do business in the country. Nous avons des entreprises comme MQM qui ont préparé, qui ont fait du travail pour le stade des Yankees. Nous avons, avec la Miramichi, le Restigouche, des pêches, du saumon, renommés au niveau international. We have incredible artists, que ce soit Rock Voisine, Lisa Leblanc, Caroline Savoie, les Hay Babies, David Miles. We have an entrepreneurial spirit second to none. We have companies and businesses here in New Brunswick. Many of them started as family businesses in rural New Brunswick, competing globally. Here in New Brunswick, we invented the telethon in St. John. We invented Scrabble in Shediac. We invented the chocolate bar in St. Stephen. And thank goodness we invented the snowblower in Dalhousie. We have so much to be proud of, whether it's our institutions, whether it's our businesses, whether it's our municipalities, our regions, and our province as a whole, and certainly we should be proud of our people. Now, there are so many people that I could name, but there's one that I want to hone in on. This is somebody that the whole world was proud of, the whole country was proud of, New Brunswick was certainly proud of, and I'm sure the people in the Miramichi were very proud of him. Kevin Vickers showed what New Brunswick is all about and showed what our country is all about. And not only did he gain accolades across the world, not only did he do those heroic, courageous things to protect our country, he did it. And then afterwards, humbly said, I was just doing my job. We should be incredibly proud of our province, of our institutions, of our businesses, of our regions, and of our people. I am convinced that if we work together, I am convinced if we do what's necessary, I am convinced if we do what's possible, we will find ourselves as a province doing things that we thought were always impossible. So I ask for your help. I ask for your support. I ask you to heed this call. Et si jamais vous pensez que votre idée, votre suggestion, votre présence, votre participation ne va pas faire une différence, ben moi je crois le contraire. If you think that your ideas, your suggestions, your participation in this important discussion about the future of our province is not important and can't make a difference, I beg to differ. And I leave you with a quote. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.